Hello guys and welcome to my new video. Testing for the upcoming set championships, Lemon Lime Seadogs vs Purple Steel. Live gameplay with commentary from our living room, testing with my girlfriend Astrid. Have fun, let's go. Before we dive into the gameplay, let's just go quickly over the deck lists we used in the gameplay. You will find both decks in the video description below. This is my Lemon Lime Seadogs deck with lots of one-cost characters like Daisy, Lady, Bobby Simurski, the other lady. I also added Merryweather and Pegasus to have some strength and some evasive power. Also, we run 2-cost Ursula, 3-cost Lady, and to have an edge against the Tiana aggro decks, I added 3 copies of Louis to give Tiana Reckless, and I'm trying the Scrump Under the Sea combo right now. If you like this deck, you will find the link in the video description below. And yeah, Astrid was running this Purple Steel composition. I added couple new cards, especially to win the evasive war against all those Dumbo decks. 4 copies of the Smee getting evasive in your turn. Also 2 copies of Hypnotic Strength instead of Fire the Cannons. And I ramped up the numbers of Yzma for more card draw, and of course Belle is here 3 times to move some damage. And other than that, this is my basic Purple Steel list, and now let's dive into the gameplay. Game number 1, I was on the play and I tried to make some pressure, low pressure early on, dropping a Lady in turn 1. And yeah, Astrid on the draw, dropping a Palace Guard, which gives me the chance to quest easily at least one time with the Lady. I'm inking a Pegasus, which could be very good in this Purple Steel matchup, dropping another Lady, and then for just 1 ink, Tramp and quest with Lady for 2 lore, and already having 3 bodies on board, which is my strategy to like flood the board, gain a lot of characters on board early on to have the edge here. She's also questing with Palace Guard since she knows I don't want to challenge actually, and dropping a Calhoun in turn 2. I'm thinking, as you can see my hand, I'm at 2 ink, I have a Scrump in my hand, I have Under the Sea, and I have the Lady Shift in my hand. But right now I could shift in this turn and actually thing Under the Sea, but I would only target like the Palace Guard. I'm dropping a 2-cost Ursula, ripping 1 Strength of a Raging Fire from her hand, which is a pretty crucial play here because it could save me like a couple characters she could easily remove with Strength of Raging Fire. I decide not to quest here because I didn't want to give her Calhoun value, but I think this was a mistake because I could like quest for 4 lore easily here and go up to 6 lore already, and she would just could take out 1 character with her Calhoun. But I respect her Lilos, I respect Hypnotic Strength, so she could have boosted up the Palace Guard anyway, or like found another Strength of Raging Fire to hard cast it. Yeah, she's questing with Palace Guard here, and we are discussing playlines. That's why we're taking sometimes a little bit of a break here. And she has 2 darks in hand at this point, and the genie and something else she can't play. And I told her, okay, like just drop 1 dark here because you still drop a character, you go wide, and then you can utilize Strength the Raging Fire later if you have many characters on board. I play Tramp here, give +4 strength to Ursula to take out the Palace Guard, and now I decide to quest with the 2 ladies to go up to 6 lore because she still has only 1 Calhoun on board, so she could take out 1 of my ladies. And yeah, I think that's the play here. Unfortunately, I can't see her hand cards. I know from my point, I still have the Lady Shift in hand and I still have the Under the Sea in hand. But since I would only target like one character here, it doesn't make any sense to play the 5-cost lady and sing Under the Sea, because yeah, just like, okay, it's a waste of potential. She's dropping a challenge Lilo here, giving all characters on board plus 2 challenges, so she takes out one lady with Calhoun, and with Doc she's removing the Ursula, going up to 4 lore. And now I still have the Shift lady in play. Take the Ursula and the lady back and decide to ink the Lilo I just drew into and play another lady. And I decide to quest here, make some lore pressure and say, okay, you gotta fight my board, I don't need to fight your board. Of course, I couldn't taken out the Calhoun here to get rid of her, but I wanted the lore and I wanted to go fast. And now she has to do something against my board. And she's carefully thinking. She's dropping a genie, drawing a card of genie, of course. And yeah, I think it's good for her not questing too aggressively here, just trying to control my board. And having lots of characters out is a good play here. So we're talking, going back and forth, what to challenge, what is a good play, because we are preparing for set championships and we want to know the matchups. We want to know what to play in what turn and what makes sense to do every turn. So I hope you can also take something from this commentary gameplays and learn those gameplays, which is pretty hard for my deck, to be honest, because Lemon Lime Dogs doesn't have a good matchup versus Purple Steel. And yeah, she's deciding to go Doc and Lilo into the tramp, taking 2 characters from my board and taking 2 2-cost singers from board, which is also a good play because now I have only the 5-cost lady on board and the 1-drop lady, and I'm trying to play another Ursula 2-drop to look at her hand, see if she drew into another Strangle Raging Fire. I'm paying 1 additional ink to give +2 strength to the lady, taking out the dog, and now lady is taking out Calhoun because I gotta respect her board, because she already had like 4 characters on board and Strangle Raging Fire would have been devastating to my board. But still, I'm living from the top. I still have that Under the Sea in my hand doing nothing. And she's playing Doc, drawing 2 cards, playing a Genie Dragon. And yeah, she has all the options right now to tear apart my board. She's sacrificing her Lilo, which is a good trade, into the lady and questing with Genie here. Because yeah, I only have 1 card in hand. We all know it's Under the Sea. I can't sing it in this turn. She knows I can't challenge Genie here, and she needs to keep up with the law, and that's why questing here is a good decision, since she doesn't have any damage on her characters. Gogo to Margo is just an empty play here. I can't use her ability, just drop her on board, not doing anything here, because if I'd quested at this point, she would just have taken out my entire board, dropping another Genie Dragon, dropping another Hook. They are both like 3 strength characters, and so yeah, like my board is never safe. She's questing with Genie again, and at this point she has the board advantage, she has the card advantage, and we were just talking, okay, like you can safely quest here. The only thing that could happen is like, yeah, I find a Merryweather here, boosting Gogo Tamago to take out the Genie, but other than that I can't really do anything about her characters because they have like 3 health, 4 health, and I just decide to quest here to make some pressure, but also giving her the option to challenge into my entire board and removing all of my characters. She's dropping a Palace Guard, she's dropping a Giant Cobra. This was a little misplay here. Yeah, she's only playing the Giant Cobra, discarding the Palace Guard to gain the 2 lore. And yeah, and now what would you do? Like just quest up to 18 or attack the opposing board? Because now I don't know if she just quest like going up to 18, I need to do something about her board. I can't finish the game right now because I'd only do 4 lore. Going up to 17 with the Shift Lady, I could go up to 18, so I could not close the game. And that's what we were talking about, like, okay, control the board first and then like quest the next turn, because you know I can't do much from the top. Dropping 1-cost Dual Link Lady, not doing much here, and the Merryweather can't take out any of her characters, and she's just questing up to 20 the next turn, winning game number 1. Yeah, going into game number 2 on the draw for Lemon Lime Seadogs. It's not getting easier. I might have made some misplays with the decks because I'm still learning the lines, still learning like the timing, the patience game, which isn't my strength at all. And I try to go a different route as in game number 1, not like playing too much on the under the sea line and Lady Shift line. I already have a 7-cost Tramp in hand, couple Pegasus to like quest out with the evasive characters. But Astrid with Purple Steel on the play, yeah, she can like establish a big board early on, like establish a 3-cost Singer, and then go from there, dropping Strength of Raging Fire onto my characters. And she also has lots of answers for my evasive characters like Pegasus. Yeah, we will see how game number 2 goes. Lemon Lime Seadogs on the draw and Astrid with Purple Steel on the play. Okay, so starting off game number 2, she inks a Big Bell and dropping a Captain Hook, which is already a good start with a Challenger Captain Hook. As I said, I'm trying to go the evasive route, dropping a Pegasus so she can't touch it in the next turn with Captain Hook. This is my early game plan, to go wide and drop as many evasive characters I can. She's dropping a Calhoun in turn 2, questing safely with her Captain Hook, so keeping up with the lore early on. I'm deciding what to do here. Dropping a 2-cost character. I already have the 2-cost Ursula in hand as well, but I decide to go fast, to go wide, quest with my Pegasus, dropping another Pegasus and a Dual Link Lady in turn 2, already having 3 characters on board to like chain into my 7-cost Tramps later. With 3 ink, she is dropping Genie Dragon, so she has an evasive answer on board. so my Pegasus aren't safe anymore. Yeah, I think with Genie Dragon on board, questing safely with Pegasus, yeah, isn't probably the best decision here, because I need those characters on board to chain into my 7-cost tramps here, inking a Lilo, and for 3 I drop a lady into a 2-cost Ursula. Looking at her hand, she's a Treasure Guardian, Palace Guard, and I think it was a 5-cost Bell, but no song to rip with 2-cost Ursula. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing nothing here. I'm doing nothing here because I need my characters for the next turn to prepare for my 7-cost tramp. But of course, yeah, just look at this turn. You remember I just played 2-cost Ursula, looking at her hand, and she's carefully thinking, but I think we all know what's coming from the top. She drew into a strength of a Raging Fire. She's still thinking what to ink here, because of course she can't ink the Strength of Raging Fire. She's inking the Palace Guard, dropping a Treasure Guardian, not drawing a card, and singing Strength of Raging Fire onto my 2-cost lady, questing with Captain Hook. And since I only have 2 Pegasus on board, a 0-3 lady and the 2-cost Ursula, her characters are pretty safe actually, and I decide to drop my first 7-cost tramp, drawing 4 cards, and I need to discard 4 more cards. Here it's not the optimal play, because I wish I drew into another 7-cost tramp with 1 more character on board, but unfortunately she had the Strength of Raging Fire, and I discard 2-cost Ursula, I discarded Bobby and a Louis, so I didn't ink for turn yet, questing with both of my Pegasus, going equal in lore, up to 3 lore here, and still having enough characters on board to play Under the Sea maybe if I draw into it, but all of the characters have like 3 strength, so I wouldn't even touch much of her board. She's playing 1 Hypnotic Strength, drawing a card here, boosting up one of her characters, but I don't know what's coming next. She has Genie Dragon on board, so she can take out one of my Pegasus here, and she hasn't inked for turn. I think we were talking about she had 2 5-cost cards in hand, and we were talking about it like inking one of her 5-cost cards right now isn't probably the best chance, because she might draw into ink the next turn, so she could ink whatever she draws the turn after and then play one of her 5-cost characters, if it's an Elsa, if it's a Belle or whatever. Just not be too greedy with inking every turn. She decides to not quest with Captain Hook here, only with Treasure Guardian, because the Captain Hook I could take it out with my 7-cost tramp, only taking 1 damage, and with 3 ink I just dump my hand, Merryweather, Daisy and another Pegasus. I'm questing for 3 with Dual Ink Lady, I quest for 1 more with Pegasus, and yeah, 3 more with Ursula and the 7-cost tramp. So looking at my board, it looks like, okay, I have this game under control, I have so many characters on board, but yeah, Purple Steel does what Purple Steel does. She's dropping a 3-cost Lilo, boosting up all of her characters, which isn't even necessary, but now she can like do all the challenging and tear my board apart. Of course, with the Genie Dragon, she's targeting the evasive character, the Pegasus. With Captain Hook, she's taking out the lady, and with Calhoun she is taking out the Ursula and the Treasure Guardian. I think she was back and forth of singing Strangle Raging Fire onto one of my characters, but she's just questing here, keeping 5 characters on board. And with my weenies, and then I have to say weenies, I can't really do anything about her characters. And still, then now she's inking the Treasure Guardian, leaving 1 card in hand, and I'm living from the top. I have only 6 lore on board, dropping another 2 cost lady, which if I play the patience game, but if she finds like a strength and 5 cost Elsa, a bell, she could move damage, exert one of my characters. So I decide to quest here with Daisy first, look what she's drawing into it, then calculating a bit, and then I decide to just quest with all of my characters, going up to 16 here. Going up to 16 and representing lethal, but of course Astrid has so many strong characters on board, and yeah, at this point I think it looks like okay, I might win this game, but Purple Steel has so many answers, even to ready characters. She could drop a bell, she could drop a 5 cost Elsa, and she decides to drop a Captain Hook here to have 6 characters on board, and taking out Pegasus with Genie Dragon here, and now starting to tearing my board apart. And this is pretty much it. We're discussing what to do here. Maybe playing Captain Hook was a mistake here, but that's why we test. That's why we try to learn playlines. That's why we try to go deep into the decks, into like the matchups, to be ready when it matters, when we play the set championships. So she goes into Captain Hook, into the 7 cost jump with Captain Hook and Calhoun, gaining 2 lore. Now she has Lilo on board and Treasure Guardian. So I don't know what she has in hand here. She says, okay, how can I get rid of this ready lady? She's going into the Daisy with Treasure Guardian and Lilo here, and still having 4 ink left to play whatever she has in hand. And she's hard casting Strength of Raging Fire onto my lady here, leaving only Merryweather alive, and I drop a Bobby, not doing anything, and she has like 5 characters on board. The only thing which would save me here is like, okay, but she's drawing into a 5 cost Elsa, exerting my Bobby and taking out Bobby with Elsa, of course, and then she just quests for 6 lore here with the rest of her board, going up to 17. And basically, yeah, at this point it's over. The only thing could have helped me here would have been a Gogo to Margot, but being at 3 ink, I wouldn't even like use her ability. For fun, I just challenge into Genie Dragon here with my Merryweather, but Astrid also taking game number 2 with Purple Steel against Lemon Lime. So that's it for today. If you like such commentary gameplay videos testing for set championships, leave a like on the video and let us know in the comment section which decks you want to see next. We should test for set championships. If you're new to the channel, I'm always happy about new viewers, so hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Flokki.